Welcome back to another week of our Broadfield Dealer Webinar. For those of you who joined in the pre-show, or those of you who are just tuning in now, you see this guy standing next to me. This is Mayson from Glyph, who's joining us here today to reintroduce you to the entire Glyph production technology storage solutions. Mayson, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Tell us a little bit about Glyph.
I appreciate it. So Glyph has been a company, as I was just mentioning, it's been around for a long time, 25 years. And we've actually, during that time, really focused our energies in producing professional storage solutions for creative professionals. So there's a little bit, if you can see on the slide, of some of our legacy products that have been introduced throughout the years. But we want to really introduce you to some of our core new products, a lot of really cool new stuff that we've released recently. Maybe next time, we've got a lot of really cool new stuff that's coming. We'll be able to follow up with some awesome products. So,
and for those of you who know Broadfield and know Glyph, Glyph really has a huge reputation and a great name in the photography world and the audio world. And part of the reasons they came to us is to help build that reputation in the video world now as well.
Yeah.
Video is kind of the space where content production is going. And your product line is kind of well positioned to take advantage in each of those categories.
Yeah, and again, as a philosophy, Glyph focused very much on audio for a while.
Yep.
Really the core part of our business.
Sure.
But everything that makes us great for, in an audio and a production environment makes us great for photo, makes us great for video. There's obviously some more demands on the video side.
Absolutely.
So different needs. But we have various solutions to kind of fit all those needs. So we think we kind of cover most bases.
And you can see those solutions on the table here in front of us.
Absolutely.
Or on this slide here. And if you look at the slide, we're actually going to start at the top with the Glyph Atom SSD and the Atom RAIDs.
Yes, some of my most exciting products. These are some of our newer products. So this is our solid state drive that we call the Atom drive. As you can see, it's a small form factor. It's actually using the M.2 memory. So again, really slim form factor, very, very rugged. These drives go up to 2 terabytes in capacity now. And again, solid state, so no moving parts, extremely rugged, hard to tell on camera, but this thing is made out of aircraft grade aluminum and like I said, very, very rugged. Typically we will throw them against walls and do things like that. I won't do that today. But it's using the USB-C connector. So it's the latest and greatest connector standard, USB-C. Nice thing is it's reversible, so it goes in both ways. And in the box, we include both the USB-C to C cable, which I've shown here, and also the USB to A cable. So you can plug into new computers like the new MacBook Pros with Thunderbolt 3, or any of the new PCs with Thunderbolt 3 or USB-C, but it's also backwards compatible to any versions of USB 3. So very versatile drive, very, very fast, 480 megs a second from this drive. So it's almost peaking the capacity of USB 3. So think about 480 megs a second, tiny little drive, very rugged, that fits right in your pocket.
And if you could go full screen on the slide for a sec, I want to show the difference on there's the SSD and then there is the RAID.
Yes.
And the difference between the two is the SSD is still going to have one SSD drive built into it.
Correct.
And then in not that much bigger of a form factor, you get the 2 SSDs, giving you much larger capacities in a RAID 0 configuration.
Exactly.
And that really tells the story for the video content producers that we started off the show talking about.
That's correct. And for those folks, especially in the video space, that have the demand for the speed and capacity, this is, as you mentioned, the Atom RAID drive. So we have 2 M.2 sticks, as you mentioned, in a permanent RAID 0, so double the capacity. So up to 4 terabytes now out of this drive, but almost double the performance as well. So we're seeing speeds of almost to 900 megs a second.
That's amazing.
And so you can edit, and we do demos in NAB and other shows. We show where we're editing 4K and 5K video on the timeline. In Premiere and Final Cut, you can scrub through the timeline. It's super, super fast. And again, extremely rugged, up to 4 terabytes of storage, bus-powered storage, no external power needed. And at the end of the day, again, it slips right in your pocket. So,
and we should also mention that the Atom SSD and the Atom RAID are available in 4 color choices.
Yes, they are.
Kind of a little bit of an array to match the color of a MacBook Pro.
Absolutely.
Or a MacBook, I should say. And it's available in either the standalone SSD model or the double Atom Raid
Yes.
to give you that higher performance.
Absolutely. Very, very popular drive, as Jim mentioned, available in black, space gray, silver, and gold.
Very cool. And then from there, now I know the M2 SSD drives are considered rugged by nature,
Yes.
just because there's no spinning disk, there's not
there's
a
no
lot
moving parts.
that can go wrong without the moving
The
parts.
chip essentially is a very rugged, it's a very rugged design chip. But we're also, again, just to reiterate, we've enclosed it, and I can even take this off. It's a solid aluminum. It's actually aircraft-grade aluminum enclosure.
That's awesome.
So these things are, we've had the strongman test where we have three people try to
Come on,
break
Mayson
them.
Flex.
That's right. I haven't been able to do it yet. And it comes in a nice removable rubber cover as well. So it's just a protective cover that's removable. You can pull it on and off.
And
It looks really nice without it, but it actually gives it a little bit of extra protection to the drive.
And it's a perfect segue into the Black Box series of drives as well, like the Black Box Plus here, which also has that super rugged, rubberized cover over a 2.5-inch
Exactly.
hard drive.
Right. So
this is the Black Box Plus model.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, again, this is a 2.5-inch version of a drive, so a smaller drive, bus powered, and it's hard to tell kind of the size of it, but really small, fit in your backpack, bus powered, no external power necessary. Again, we're using the USB-C connector, the latest and greatest, so it's going to work with all the new Thunderbolt 3 USB-C machines and backwards compatible. And it comes in hard drive flavors, up to 2 terabytes, very soon up to 5 terabytes, but it also comes in SSD models as well. So we actually have SSD solid state drives all the way up to an almost 8 terabyte capacity. So I think it's the largest bus-powered solid-state drive on the market today. Not for everybody, but
well, I got to tell you, with all the options you have here, there kind of is one for everybody,
something for
right?
everybody.
Yeah.
Whatever your size, capacity needs, whether you need the speed of SSD or a spinning hard drive, it's an excellent solution. Media drive, backup drive, just all-purpose drive. It's a wonderful drive.
That's awesome, and it's obviously a little bit different than the Black Box Pro.
Exactly. So whereas this is built on the 2.5-inch drives.
You know what? Let's get a close-up on the product shot of these,
Yeah,
just to really show the difference. Because this is one of the things that you don't see when you're viewing the product on the website, but you'll see there is a considerable size difference.
Yes.
And that's for a reason.
Again, yes, this is more, for a portable drive that you travel around with, fits right in your backpack. But again, this is bus powered,
right.
So no external power necessary.
Whereas
this
the Pro,
the full size 3.5-inch. Anyone who's seen a Bear drive, this houses a full 3.5-inch size drive. So an advantage there is we go all the way up to 14 terabytes in capacities, anywhere from 2 to all the way up to 14 terabytes. Designed in about the most rugged and portable enclosure that you can have for a 3.5-inch drive, so you can easily travel with this to and fro. It does need, as Jim mentioned, to be bus powered because it is 3.5-inch drive. But again, we have a lot of people that use these for many purposes. For archival is a great purpose.
Yep.
We sell a lot of the larger capacities have become very popular for people that just are shooting lots and lots of footage. And backup is, extremely important. Can't reiterate enough.
Yeah,
Backing up that footage, and this is just a wonderful drive, whether in the office, the studio, or in the field, to just dump your footage and have, safe backup.
Yeah, for those of you who have the customers that are the road warriors, where they're going on location, but then setting up their full HP workstation, and they're doing all their editing on the road, it's still nice, even though you're going to have a desktop drive like this, to have that rugged, high performance, high reliability, even if it's just to get from airport A to airport B without worrying about that drive packed into the bottom of the suitcase.
Exactly.
Anyone who's ever seen a TSA agent knows that very well.
Exactly. And that's a nice thing, is it's very rugged, easy to travel with, and it's that extra layer of protection and redundancy of you knowing that you've got 2 copies of your footage.
Which is beautiful. And then the last product in the Black Box series is the Black Box.
Yeah, it's a Black Box, so it's our entry-level model. So less expensive, a 5,400 RPM drive. All of our other drives, where they can be, are 7,200 RPM fast drives. So a little bit slower, but less expensive, and a great little backup drive. So this is what I use as kind of my time machine backup drive.
Yep.
Just an all-purpose general drive for any purposes. Great for education. Education students absolutely love this drive.
You know what, with a 500 gigabyte starting at $70, this is something that you can sell as a complement to the rest of your Glyph sale.
Yes.
And your customers can take that and give that as the client backup.
Exactly.
So their clients always leave with a copy of the project.
And we have a lot of folks doing for data recovery, where we're able to recover data and give them a nice, and again, it's our entry-level drive, but it's a solid metal, very, very rugged drive.
And we know our dealers who are dealing with these guys at the pro level, they can easily build $70 to $150, $120 into a project for their customers to know that they have an off-site backup of that project on their own.
And you don't want to take a chance on, not to knock so many other drive choices out there, but when you're in that environment, it's that information is so much important. Do you really want to trust it to a cheaper drive that may or may not be able to hold up? So we're a big fan of the metal construction and the fact that it's so rugged.
Absolutely.
They really take a beat and they just keep running.
So we have the Atom series drives, we have the Black Box series drives, and then we go into the Studio series.
Yes.
So as the name implies, Studio implies that it's made for a studio professional.
Exactly, and these are some of our core products. Again, as Jim mentioned, these are designed for professionals to be used in a studio environment. So they run really, really quietly, very, very reliably. I don't think I've mentioned that, because we're based in New York, we have certain advantages where we test every single drive before it leaves the factory. In fact, we test every port of every drive, so they're extremely reliable. And again, really, really quiet and run great in studio environment. This is suitable for sitting on the desktop, or with an inexpensive rack mount kit, you can actually rack mount 2 of these side by side in a rack. So really versatile drive, great design, interior power supply, so you don't have to worry about finding the different plug. Just any IECC plug will fit in this. And like I said, a very intelligent, quiet cooling system. This particular one is USB 3 and FireWire connectivities. And then we also have different models. This is actually a RAID.
And actually, before you go into the RAID, I do want to point that out because it is an advantage that you mentioned to me earlier, is the fact that some of these Glyph drives have these legacy connections.
Yes.
If you have a customer that's trying to outfit in an education, corporation, government, house of worship, the fact that you have all these different connectivity options available just means that your customers have a higher success rate of what you're selling them actually connecting to the ports that they have available.
Yes, and we still see a lot of demand. A lot of folks are obviously moving into the new technology. Certainly USB 3 has been adopted, USB-C and Thunderbolt are, but many, many people still have FireWire devices, have legacy devices, and the advantage of being able to have one drive, be able to plug into their new systems, and also be able to plug into everything else and have it be compatible with all the equipment they have in their studio is a real advantage.
And this is something we run into as dealers that are selling into professional marketplaces all the time. When your customers are investing heavily into a huge Mac Pro or an HP workstation, they're not replacing that machine quite as often.
Right.
So you want to make sure that these drives will continue to work.
Have the equipment that they're keeping. So it's very, very, and I'm surprised by how many people, a lot of people have still demand. So we're still supporting those connectivity. We're obviously moving into the new connectivity and USB-C and Thunderbolt 3 as time progresses and technology.
And I didn't mean to throw you off on the tangent, but
not at all.
So let's continue because the studio product line is kind of packed with a bunch of different options.
Yeah, I mean, this has been, like I said, very, very popular in many environments, certainly in the studio environments. I mentioned the single drive version that goes up to 14 terabyte. This is actually a 2-drive RAID. So this is able to support RAID modes 0. So just sees it as one big drive, so you get the double the capacity and the performance advantage. Perfect. Or RAID 1, which is a mirror. So for those who are backing up, who want redundant copies of their material, you back up once to this drive, and it's actually making 2 complete copies of your data on each of the drives. And this particular drive has USB 3 and Thunderbolt, USB 3 and Thunderbolt 2 connectivity. And if you notice, it's hard to see on the back. But the RAID is hardware switchable, so there's no software RAID configuring.
Perfect.
You simply switch the RAID mode on the back. Supports RAID 0, 1, or JBOD. Reset the unit. It's going to automatically configure it, and you're up and running.
And the Studio RAID is available, like you mentioned, either the USB 3 model or the Thunderbolt model.
Yeah, so we have the USB 3 and Thunderbolt 2 model.
And the
then we have a
Thunderbolt is
model-
daisy chainable, of course.
And it is, yeah. So we include 2 Thunderbolt 2 ports, so you can actually daisy chain. You could, theoretically, not theoretically, but you could put 2 of these. You can
Beautiful.
stack these and daisy chain them, or any other, Thunderbolt compatible devices off of this guy. And we actually do, now that I mentioned it, we have some portable versions of this. So for our single drive, this is what we call our Studio Mini.
Give me a PowerPoint.
So it's basically the same, similar to this, but using the 2.5-inch drives, so it can be bus powered. Capacity is up to 5 terabytes. Still got a slim, small form factor desktop design, but certainly portable enough to be able to, put in a bag and travel with you. And again, just introduced new sizes, 3, 4, and 5 terabytes. So
Perfect.
that's pretty high, 5 terabytes, and something with a footprint like this that you travel with is very nice. And again, with the RAID, similar thing where we have the 2.5-inch drives in a RAID. So you can have up
Perfect.
to 10 terabytes of RAIDed storage in a small form factor box like this.
Perfect. So then, again, in the Studio series, you have the Studio Mini, Studio RAID in either USB or Thunderbolt, the Studio RAID Mini, which is going to give you USB 3.
Yep.
And then there is this big guy over here,
Yes.
which is your Studio RAID 4.
That is, and I don't want to walk into
Yeah,
the
let's
screen,
not
so
lift that
I'll,
one up. We can leave that one right here.
Yeah, if you want to spin it around just real quick, I'll show one
Sure.
advantage. So it's a 4-bay RAID. So this guy is going to support several RAID models, 0, 1, 3, 5, and 10. 5 is being one of the most popular.
Absolutely.
Because it offers the best of both worlds, where you get the speed advantage, but you also have redundancy, right? If you lose a drive, you're not going to lose your data. You're able to replace the drive, and it's going to automatically rebuild your data. So
Perfect.
it gives the best of speed and reliability. And if you see the back of the device here, these drives are actually removable. So if you have a problem with the drive, you can actually pop a little key in there, pull the drive out, replace the drive, pop it back in. It's self-serviceable, and get back up and running. And of course, we have a very, very robust support team. So that's something where we need to get involved. Simple phone call to Glyph. If anything happens, a person will answer the call, and we will always help you. We have wonderful warranty. Even if the products are out of the warranty, we have lifetime phone call support. So
Absolutely.
always get somebody on the phone to help you.
And
Certainly between us and the good folks at Broadfield.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, that's what our dealers like to know, is that there is a chain of support available.
Yes.
Obviously, you know that we're going to always make it easy for you to do business. When we have partners like Glyph that are also available on the other end of the phone, and we can all work together, at the end of the day, it really just means more happy customers.
That's true, yes. And since we're in such proximity and we have such a great relationship,
Yep.
it is a perfect symbiotic relationship. If you're working with Broadfield, you still have the concept of Glyph, so you're the best of both worlds. All that the services and everything that Broadfield has to offer, and you can always pick up the phone and call Glyph. Myself or any of the folks in support are always available, so you get the best of both
Yeah,
worlds.
absolutely. And your Broadfield salesperson, Rich, Dan, John, Angel, Jared, they all have the updated Glyph price sheet available. On that price sheet is going to be all the information you need on the Atom series drives, the Black Box series, the Studio series, as well as some of the Glyph accessories, even if it's just the Studio rack mount kit that Mayson mentioned earlier. These are all available from Broadfield, so call your Broadfield salesperson. Let us get you that updated dealer price sheet. If you need setup information for your websites or catalogs, you can reach out to me. I'm Jim at Broadfield.com. Mayson will have lots of stuff available and ready to help as well.
I'm Mayson at glyphtech.com. I'm happy for anyone to reach out to me. If you need my contact information, reach out to Broadfield. Happy to hear from my customers at any time with any kinds of questions, any kind of support that we can help you pre and post. Happy to do that.
Awesome. And I know we kind of blew through these quickly, but Glyph does have a lot of stuff to offer. Mayson, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. We're going to have some really cool new stuff coming up. So hopefully we can follow up another session where I can really excite you with some new products that are just about ready to come. So
very cool. We're looking forward to that as well. We do have our weekly webinar every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Coming up, we have an Avid DNS promotion that we're putting the finishing touches on right now. June 28th, we're going to close out the month with all of the specials, new product announcements, and other stuff you can expect for July. July 5th, everyone's going to be hungover from the 4th of July holiday, so we're just going to do a best of Broadfield presentation and show you what you should be checking out from the webinars that we've done in the past. Hopefully you've made the cut for that presentation.
I will be here.
And then July 12th, we will hopefully be introducing some new products from Bird Dog. Thanks for joining us again this week. We look forward to seeing you every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Thank you, everybody.
Broadfield Distributing is a value-added distributor of live production, streaming, video editing, and storage products. We only sell to resellers. We are always looking for new dealers, so call us at 800-634-5178 or email sales@broadfield.com. You'll like doing business with Broadfield because we make it easy to do business.